Hi, Julie Torrens here. So I've got my Jane Davenport Brights watercolors and my Paper Fashion metallics and shimmers. And I took a 11 by 14 sheet of watercolor paper, and this is just the basics from Amazon. Amazon's basics. It was 30 sheets, I think. Was less than $15. It's a good paper. It's a cellulose paper, but it's a good paper. And I'm just in the mood to do what I call some watercolor doodling. So I just put some water here in the center, and I think I'm going to bring it out just a little more. Now I haven't blocked this or taped it down to a piece of cardboard or anything because I really don't plan to even be that sophisticated about all this. All right, so I'm going to pick out, honestly, kind of randomy colors. I'm going to start with this green, and of course I'm thinking about some florals. So I'm just going to lay some of these greens down on the wet and give it some grassy and maybe some kind of leaf shapes. Nothing too exact. And then I'm going to just wet my brush. I'm going into that first green and I'm just going to give it some splashes. And I'm going to rinse that out. Go into that second green, do the same. And you can see some places it's spreading, some places it isn't, and that's all fine with me. All right. Now I'm going to just see about adding a little bit of flowery colors. So this is kind of a pinkish color, maybe more of a fuchsia kind of color. And I'm just going to put some dots on here. Again, some are spreading, some aren't, and that's okay. Some can be, or maybe they'll end up a little more in the distance, and some will be a little close up. It's all good. I'm going into the next color, which is just a little bit darker and a little bit warmer of a color. And I think I'm just going to give it some of these. Like that. Rinsing it out, going into this yellow. And these are the Jane Davenport Brights. My set was made by American Crafts, and she's now with another company. So if you buy the Jane Davenport Brights, you may or may not end up with a palette like mine, but it'll be fine. It's a student grade paint, but it's very good. I enjoy using them. I'm gonna just put a couple of circles in here with the yellow. Maybe put one way up here. And I'm going to get that yellow, give it a splash. And now I'm just going to hit this with my spray. This is just water in a hair product bottle. And now I'm just going to pick this up, and I've got kind of a wax paper on the floor. Set it over there to dry. Grab another sheet. I cut it into fours, so I've got 4 of these. This time I'm going to hit the whole thing with the mister. I won't get as much. Oh, so sorry. Are you okay? I'm sorry. This time I won't get maybe as much blooming, but it just will be a different effect, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to start this time maybe with more of the flowers. I'm going to pick up some of this purple. And let's just get some shapes on here. And maybe just a little bit smaller. Okay. Changing brushes. I'm going to take a round brush. And I am just going wherever the muse leads me. I've got these two pinkish colors that I'm just going to put together, and I'm going to put some round shapes in. I'm running out of paint. I'm just going to grab them both. Maybe add some smaller ones down here. Okay. They kind of are more pointy on top, so I'm just going to follow that lead and make these all just a little bit kind of pointy on top. I don't know why. I'm just, as I say, following my muse. I'm going into this light blue, and I'm going to add some of this to these. Maybe it'll give it kind of a shadow look, but I'm just adding that to those. All right, I'm grabbing that blue and splat, splat, splat. I'm going to grab some of this green. And again, just bring up some, whatever is kind of a leafy shape. I'm grabbing this one, and I'm going to put some leaves here, there, here, there. Maybe add just a little bit of that green in here. And then maybe some more of this kind of a thing. Now I'm going to grab my twiggy brush. It's this one. I'm going to wet it, but I'm going to blot it. And I'm just going to start flicking and dragging. Good. And now I'm just going to give that, let's see, I'm going in with that green and I'm putting it right in here. Add some of that purple. Yeah, I wanted kind of a brownish color. And I'm just going to dot in what might be kind of a ground cover, because I don't want those little twiggy marks to just be floating. I'm just going to add those in here. All right, now I'm going to add a color that I don't even have in there. Yellow. Give it some sunshine. Okay, set this one aside. Let's do another one. Here's number 3. And I'm going to go into my clean water. I have a 2-tub, more water. I have a 2-tub system so that I can always double rinse my brushes, especially if I really want a clean brush. Okay, let's go in to this pink. You can tell I like this pink. I've wore a hole right through it, but hey, it's okay. There's still a lot of paint in here. You'd be surprised. All right, C shapes. Another one. Third one. Good. I'm going to grab some yellow. A lot of water in that yellow. That's okay. Good. And now I'm going to grab one of these darker pinks. Good. And now I'm going to grab this flat brush, get into this pink, Rattle, rattle, rattle. And I'm just gonna give it a little more. Okay. With the flat brush, plenty of water. Into the yellow. Whoop. There we go. Good. And we're going to give it some leaf shapes. Get some water, get some of that green. Now I am going to try to keep the green. Well, that's not even doing anything. Let's get the other brush and get some of this green. I'm going to just go a little bit more towards the edges. Now, yeah, I was going to say, if it gets in the middle, I'm not going to sweat it, but there. Okay. And let's take this one. We got one more. Okay, well, I did 2 times where I put the water on with the brush, so let's do 2 times that I'm putting it on with a mist. Okay, let's go with, I'm thinking. Let's get the blue, and let's just get some dots on there. See where this takes me. And then maybe some yellow. Good. Let's get that twiggy brush. This one. Let's go into the darker green. Good. Let's get that brown color. Was this purple? And some green. That's a different color. Needs red. Yeah, more purple it turned into. Okay, let's try more green. Well, we're going with whatever this color is. That's fine. And I'm just doing a little ground cover again. And now I'm just going to take this brush. I'm going to put my hand here. Just keep, well, that didn't keep it down, but that's okay. It's good. It's good. I am going to add, with my bigger round brush, some of this pink. And maybe these pink guys are just more down here. Like that. Okay. Set this one aside. All right. Now, we kind of got a little splashiness going on. Nothing wrong with that. I'm reaching for my paper towels. Here we go. And I'm just going to give my tabletop a bit of a white. Not so much that I'm worried about getting the color up as I am just getting the wet up. Okay. It's still got some use in it. Let's rinse this brush out good. All right, bring one up. I'm bringing up the second one. I'm just grabbing. So this is the second one that we did. Now that it is not shiny anymore or puddly anymore, I do have a couple of yellow spots that are puddly. I'm just gonna wick them up with this paper towel. Do I have any more? Okay, I think I've got a few more, but let's just see. Let's give it a dry. And I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Now, this is what it looks like dry. It's a little wonky, but that's fine. It's not something I'm going to worry about one single bit. I want to start some doodling. And I'm right now deciding, do I want to add some shimmer now or maybe once I get started? I think once I get started. So I'm just going to take my water and I'm going back to this set. This is my shimmer and metallics, and I'm just going to give them another mist. I don't care what brand you buy of metallic shimmery paints. They all need just a little more activation and water than other ones do. I don't know why, but they honestly do. All right, now let's just see what this pen, and are we good and dry? Because it was hot. Yeah. Let's just see what we can draw. They kind of remind me of tulip shapes. So maybe I'll kind of go with that and just kind of outline the raggedness on this side. And I have to hold this pen up or it's not writing. I was trying to stay out of your vision, you know what I mean, out of your way so that you could see. And I'm just gonna bring this down to here. I'm gonna work on this side. And these are just fantasy. They're not reality by any means. And I'm gonna bring this one up like that. And I'm gonna bring some of those lines down like this. Yeah, kind of looks like a nervous tulip, doesn't it? That's okay, I like it. So I'm deciding, this one looks behind, this one looks in front. So I'm just gonna go ahead following these lines. Now, even though this particular petal has a white space in it, that's fine. Your brain will kind of fill that in. Now I'm bringing this one this way. And now this one, kind of this way. Yeah. Weird. I like it. Okay. And I'm going to work on this one. This is just a Sharpie marker. Now, is this going to be a masterpiece? No. So what am I doing? Honestly, I was in the mood to work in doing journal, meaning practice, not so much a finished piece, like, you know, ready to hang on the wall. No, 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 no. Practice, have some fun. Today's the day. I just need to have some fun. And so I decided to get the old Amazon paper out. And what I'm going to do is I'll just glue these in to my art journal. And they'll just become 2 pages because I'll mount them back and front of a page, and I'll just put them in there. Okay, so there are my 3 kind of tulip shapes. I'm going to keep this pen going, and I'm going to make these more like closed tulips. Like that. And one more. Okay, these tulips, I want to just kind of beef up the lines a little bit. So where there's 2 lines together, like it would be 2 petals, I'm gonna thicken that up just a little bit. And where these lines can join, I'm gonna thicken that up a little bit. I'm just adding to the weight of the lines a little bit. Add to this one, bring this together. Add to the weight of this one even a little more. I really want them differentiated from the wiggly ones. When you've been practicing that kind of a neurographic art kind of a thing, that's going to help you with this kind of doodling, that kind of a practicing. Just kind of following some lines there. Okay, now these, I'm just gonna just some little smaller tulips. I like those. All right, now I'm just going to add some stems. Little thicker stem here. I think everyone pretty much has a stem now. And then just some little quick marks. I'm not as worried about these leaves necessarily having a designated stem. Now this, kind of a long leaf. Thicken this up a little bit. Like that. I am not going to do all the green leaves. I'm just going to do a few. I think it will just look like a whole bunch of black lines if I do that. I am going to give this leaf a bit of a go round. Okay, I'm liking that. Again, I'm just playing. And that's what I want you to do. No fear, no expectations. Just splash a little watercolor around and give it a go. Maybe I'll give some little stones. I like that. Okay. I like this one. Let's go on to one more. How do you say? So this was the second one. Let's grab the first one, only because it's probably the most dry. Okay, that's this one. Still a little wet. I'm gonna hit it with the dryer and I'll be right back. Okay, all dry. I'm gonna grab a different one of my Sharpies. Just, maybe it doesn't even work, but just, to get a different feel. And I think I'm gonna start this time with the yellow. Now, again, I didn't use the metallics, but I might on this one, giving them a couple squirts. It won't hurt them. And if I want to use them, they'll be more ready. All right. Well, we've got this real defined one. So I'm going to give it this. Just bloop, 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 bloop. Round and round and round. Good. Now I can see one here. I'm going to do the same. And yeah, it's like a little more greenish. That's all right. It's in the shadows. It's reflecting some of the leaves that are all around it. It's kind of hiding. That's all right. So I hope you're okay that I brought you along for just this little. It's an art journal, but right now I don't have a going watercolor art journal. Frankly, I need to buy one, but I've got oodles of watercolor paper of every kind of a description, so I'm not excited about buying another one. I don't feel like I'm doing without, because I can just do like this. And sometimes when I'm paging through my journals, when I change gears and have something like this in there, it's refreshing to my eye. So I'm totally happy with just doing watercolor like this. Okay, now there's one over here, but it's one of these that's going to be a little bit more sideways. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. Today's Monday for me. So if it's a Monday for you, I hope you had a good weekend, or maybe the weekend's just coming up. I hope you have some time to do some art, or maybe go visit an art gallery or a museum or just something like that where you can just kind of fill your eyes with some art. All right, looking good. I think I'm going to put another sideways one right here. Yeah, like that. We've got another one right here. Should I just go for it? Let's do it. My hands are liking this little bit of doodling. Thank you for staying with this for this long. If you like my content, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I am still a relatively new YouTube channel. I'm coming up on a year. This is January, end of January, and it was the end of March that I started my YouTube channel in 2022. We're January 2023. So I'm coming up on a year, and I need subscribers for my channel to grow. So I appreciate it if you hit the like and consider subscribing. Okay, I like those. Now we've got these kind of spiky things. What are we going to do with those? Well, let's have some fun. I'm going to start out by giving it a few petals this way, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pick these out. Like that. Let's do another one. Little bloop there. Yep. Cute. So, is it okay that I'm not doing this to make a journaling card for a upcoming project making journals? Well, if I like it well enough, I may just do that. But if it just goes into my art journal, I am totally fine with that. I am being relaxed today, and that's what I'm hoping for you. Be relaxed. Enjoy the process. Don't get too wound up in having things be so exact, or that you want it to be so realistic. Oh, there's a place for that. But sometimes it's okay to just play. Just let the colors fly. Sprinkle some colors here. Put some other colors there. Let them bleed. Let them go. Blossom all over the place. Why not? It's what we bought our art supplies for, our pleasure and our use. And that's what I was in the mood for. Just kind of lower my blood pressure, and with that, lower my expectations, and just have some fun. Looks like there's a stem coming down. Who's got a stem there? This one maybe. Sure. I don't want anything looking just kind of wild. You know what I mean? Like it's just floating in the air with against gravity. But if I miss one, oh, I'm not going to sweat it. Okay, I kind of like this one. I do like it. I'm going to grab some of these shimmers. I'm going to grab a smaller round brush, and we'll see if all that watering did any good. I've got this green shimmer, but it's mostly clear, but depending on which way the light hits it, it gives a green glow. And I'm going to add some of this to some of these leaves. Just going right on top. Now, if it's 100% covered or not, it doesn't matter to me. And I don't even know if you can exactly see this, but it's shimmery. When I get a few more, I'll go ahead and tip them up. Now this Sharpie marker, if I load it with water right now, it could bleed or run because it hasn't had time to really set or cure. If I was really concerned about that, then I would hit this again with the heat gun before I started what I'm doing. But it's not necessary for me right now. If it ends up bleeding a little, I'm not going to worry about it. That looks pretty. All right, I'm going to add some shimmer to these red guys. So all these white pans, can you see them? Pardon me, Jane. All these white pans, I have, kind of splattery, but I have gone ahead and I swatched them out. And when I tip this, I can see this one, which is this one, kind of shimmers out to red. Well, I mean, not red, because it's clear, but whatever little mica is in there leans towards red. So I'm going to use that and just add some. Activating these ahead of time, honestly, did help. I'm not having to work this so much with my brush to get some of the paint on my brush. And one more. Now, as the shimmers dry, they do even shimmer a little bit more. Okay, on these yellow ones, I'm going to go ahead and this one didn't get as much, I can tell you right away, did not get as much of the spray. So I'm having to work it a little more. It got some. It's not as if it was dry as a bone, but I am having to work this a little more just to get some paint up to the surface that I can grab it with my brush. And I'm just going to put some on here. Isn't that fun? I'm having a lot of fun. And what is this shimmery mess? I'll tell you, it kind of reminds me, and we're going back a long ways, in would it be the 70s? Probably the 80s. Well, maybe the 70s. Black velvet, and people would paint with metallics and shimmery stuff on top. You'd have everything from florals to Elvis to Jesus to all kinds of things. And where they sold them, I saw people buying them. All right, I'm going to grab just one of those shimmers that I've already used. Probably go with this red one. And I'm just going to give it a few splatters. Like that. Okay, rinse, rinse, rinse. I'm going to try to see if you can catch any of the shimmer by just kind of tipping and tilting. And just see if you can spot any of the shimmer going on. Let me know in the comments if you saw the shimmer. I hope so. Okay, thanks for joining me for just a little bit of art journal fun out of my art journal. And I will see you in another video. Like and subscribe. Thanks.